Good evening tonight on the Infield brings the 2005 South Australian Super Sedan Championship from the Borderline Speedway in Mount Gambier. This is Heat 1 of the Super Sedan State title, and leading them in is car number 2 out of Victoria, Peter Nicola. On his outside, the New South Wales number 24 of Paddy Ward, and Ward got a very nice start, and he'll lead them down the back straight away into turns 3 and 4 for the first time. It's Ward leading Peter Nicola, followed by Terry White, the Victorian. Then we go back to 3-time national champion Mick Nicola in the beautiful red Monaro. And further back is SA number 33 of Justin Farley, battling it out with the 67 of Steve Vaughan out of the Barossa Valley. And tailing out the field in car number 5 is Trevor Ware. But have a look at Paddy Ward. He throws the car into turn number 1 and 2. Is opening up a very nice lead. A bit of contact further back there between Trevor Ware and Justin Farley. And the South Aussie trio at the back of the field. There's no answer for the interstate battle up in front. Paddy Ward out of New South Wales, followed by a trio of Victorians. Terry White, Peter Nicola and Mick Nicola are also in there as well. In fact, Mick Nicola now looking to the inside of Terry White as they come out of turn number 4. The camera position situated in the middle of turns 1 and 2 as the cars flash by the camera spot down past the pit turn in turns 1 and 2. We're now in turns 3 and 4, and it's still Paddy Ward out in front in this 10-lap Super Sedan heat for the South Australian Super Sedan Championship. And it's still Paddy Ward out in front. Mick Nicola now looking to the inside of White. A bit of contact down there in turn number 3. But White's able to negate the challenge from Mick Nicola. Pete Nicola now all over the back of Mick Nicola for 4th spot. But it's still Paddy Ward out in front, and this is a very good Super Sedan race here to open up the show here this evening. It is still Ward, followed by White, then the 2 Nicolas back there in 3rd and 4th. This is a great battle on the speedway as we see now White closing up all over the back of Paddy Ward as they come through turns number 3 and 4. Paddy Ward in the Ford Mustang holding out the beautiful Ford Falcon of Terry White, the Holden Monaro back there in position number 3 in the Pontiac Grand Prix in 4. These cars are tightly packed up as they go out down the back straight away. Now into 3 and 4. Pete Nicola now looking to the inside of Mick Nicola. You could throw a blanket over these 4 cars as they go down the front straight away into turns 1 and 2 one more time. This is an action-packed Super Sedan heat. As further back we've got Trevor Ware and also Steve Vaughan in car 67 battling it out. But the action really is up front as the checkered flag comes out for Paddy Ward, followed by Terry White and Mick Nicola. Heat number 3 now on the speedway. Mick Nicola back out on the track once more. Shane Reed out of Western Australia. The current Tasmanian champion Brad Smith. Also the 5 of Trevor Ware, the front 2 rows here in Heat 3 of the Super Sedan Championship here at the Borderline Speedway in Mount Gambier. And a bit of contact in turn number 2 between Brad Smith and also Shane Reed. And to set the 2 cars spinning to the infield there in turn number 2. So we've got a complete restart here. All cars back in. Once again, it'll be Mick Nicola, Shane Reed, Brad Smith, Trevor Ware, Justin Farley, Peter Nicola and Steve Stewart, a 6-time South Australian Super Sedan champion at the back of the pack. Green flag, and we're racing once again. And around the top side of the racetrack is Mick Nicola in car number 3. And now he'll lead them down the back straightaway. Shane Reed out of Western Australia battling it out. Oh, contact further back. Justin Farley in car number 33 has been turned around in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And once again, the yellow lights will come on. So let's see if we can get this heat race run. Justin Farley sent to the back of the field. Restart number 3. Once again, Nicola to lead them in. The green flag waves and we're racing once more. And once again, Nicola got a bullet-like start out of position number 1. Brad Smith now slotting into position number 2 in the Tasmania number 1 Little's Transport machine, as he's now ahead of Shane Reed in car number 21. Back there in 3rd spot with a nice shot there of Reed as he makes his way through turns 1 and 2. Then we go back to the 47 of Steve Stewart, who started this one at the back of the pack, but with a couple of cautions made his way up through the starting grid. And in fact, the 47 of Stewart very loose out of turn number 4. He's dropped a couple of spots, but have a look at the battle up in front. It's starting to rage now between the 1 of Brad Smith and the number 3 out of Victoria, that being Mick Nicola, three-time national champion, also a former South Australian champion, won that event at the Sunline Speedway at Waikerie a few seasons ago. But it's Brad Smith now all over the back of the Monaro as they go through turns number 3 and 4. How close can they cut out of turn number 4? Oh, Smith gets a little sideways. He had to avoid the number 3 of Nicola. He got very sideways coming off of turn number 4, and he had to get on the brakes to avoid contact. Once again, Nicola running the top side of the racetrack here out of turn 4. Smith on the bottom. This is an intriguing battle for the race lead. Third is still Shane Reed out of Western Australia. So it's Tasmania leading, Victoria leading Western Australia here in the South Australian Championship. Where are the South Aussies? They haven't really thrown a punch here in these heat races yet. So it's still Brad Smith out in front, followed by Mick Nicola, and Smith now starting to get away now from Nicola through turn number 4 as they put another lap down to the book here at the very picturesque 372 metre venue here in Mount Gambier. There's a couple of South Aussies battling it out there for 4th and 5th. Trevor Ware and also Steve Stewart, as now we cross back to our race leader, Brad Smith. He's now starting to show why he's regarded as one of Australia's top super sedan drivers, and he'll be looking to claim a national title when the event is held in his home state of Tasmania in the mid-February. But it's still Brad Smith out in front. He really is putting the cleaners through them here in this particular heat. Justin Farley may go a lap down there in car number 33. There's only a couple of laps remaining here in this one, as once again Smith is down there in turns number 3 and 4. He's opened up a very handy lead over Mick Nicola. In fact, the checkered flag is out this time by. So Brad Smith will take the win. Second will go to Mick Nicola, and third to Shane Reed out of Western Australia. Peter Nicola just crossing the line now ahead of the 33 of Justin Farley. Parts, your one-stop auto shop. Stockers of all your speedway racing needs, including American Racer tyres and methanol racing fuels. Also a full modern workshop with fully qualified mechanics available to keep your car on the road. So next time your car requires any mechanical needs, don't forget Miller's Blauerthal Auto Parts at 387 Churchill Road, Kilburn. So the next heat of the Super Sedan State Championship being brought to you by Rob Stevens Race Engines and Wyler, and also Sunline Speedway, as we see coming through turns number 1 and 2 for the first time, the Terry White machine and also the 77 of the Blauerthal Auto Parts Pontiac Grand Prix of Bill Miller. The yellow lights come on. The start wasn't quite to the judges' liking. Here we go, restart number 2, and it's once again Terry White leading Bill Miller through turns 1 and 2. In fact, White pushed Miller right up against the boards there as they came out of turn number 2. But it's still Terry White and Bill Miller door-to-door out of turn number 4. Also trying to force his way through in car number 85 is Keith Higgs out of Western Australia, running the top side of the speedway. An exciting move from car number 85 as he's now running in position number 4. Oh, the 67 of Steve Vaughan has looped it down there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And in fact, the yellow lights may come on if Vaughan can't quite get the car refired. And in fact, the yellow lights come on as the cars head down the back straight away, as we'll take a replay from inboard the 67 of Steve Vaughan. So on the restart, it's Bill Miller in car number 77 to lead them in. Terry White in the BA Falcon in second. Then we've got the 85 of Keith Higgs. Then we've got Craig Lockwood in car number 25 and Darren Hickman out of Bendigo in car number 9, rounding out the top 5. And Miller once again leads them through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Keith Higgs up the inside. of Terry White. Perhaps there was a bit of contact down there in turn number 3, but it's still Terry White in second spot. Keith Higgs now switching to the top side, and now Craig Lockwood also coming into play in the blue and black machine in position number 4. While this is happening, number 9 of Darren Hickman is just sitting back there and watching it all happen, just waiting for an opening to go past any one of those 4 cars out in front. A high-speed freight train out of turn number 2, led by Bill Miller in the very distinctive pink Blarathon Auto Parts Pontiac Grand Prix. Oh, Terry White is sideways. Keith Higgs is involved also. Craig Lockwood and the 9 of Darren Hickman. Oh, stacks on the mill down there in turn number 4. On the restart, Bill Miller will lead them in once again. Then we've got Keith Higgs in car 85 now in second spot. Then it's the 25 of Craig Lockwood now battling it out with the 9 of Darren Hickman. Of course, Terry White was sent to the rear of the field as he was deemed the cause of the stoppage. So at the moment it's Miller followed by Higgs, Craig Lockwood, Hickman, Paddy Ward, and tailing out the field at the moment is the 67 of Steve Vaughan, as it looks like Terry White has pulled onto the infield. But now the battle for the lead is starting to hot up between Keith Higgs and Bill Miller. In fact, Higgs now on the bottom side of the racetrack, Miller running around the top side, but Higgs has got him in exiting turn number 2. And Higgs will now take over the race lead, as we just caught a glimpse of Terry White still circulating around to the back of the field with a bit of damage to the front of the race car, just continuing around to gain as many points as possible. But it's Keith Higgs out of Western Australia who is leading this quite convincingly now, ahead of Bill Miller, and now Darren Hickman is now coming into play in car number 9 in another beautiful rocket chassis Holden Monaro. Then we go back to Craig Lockwood battling it out with Paddy Ward in car number 24. But forget the winner in this one. This is going to be Keith Higgs. He has bolted here ahead of Bill Miller. The battle really is now for second between Miller and Darren Hickman in car number 9 as they come through turn number 2. Pretty good battle now developing also between the 67 of Steve Vaughan and also the 24 of Paddy Ward. But the checkered flag comes out for Keith Higgs, who earlier set the new track record in heat number 1, which we were unable to show you. But Higgs will take the win. Second, Miller. As we now go on board with Bill Miller, the number 77 Pontiac Grand Prix. Blarathon Auto Parts, your one-stop auto shop. Stockers of all your speedway racing needs, including American Racer tyres and methanol racing fuels. Also a full modern workshop with fully qualified mechanics available to keep your car on the road. So next time your car requires any mechanical needs, don't forget Miller's Blarathon Auto Parts at 387 Churchill Road, Kilburn. Final heat of the evening now on the racetrack. Leading them in is car number 33 of Justin Farley and the 6-time state champion Steve Stewart on the outside. Here comes Darren Hickman in car number 9, the bright yellow machine, as he now slots himself into second spot. Also Keith Higgs in car number 85 back there in third. Then we go back to Terry White and the number 1 machine out of Tasmania of Brad Smith. And tailing out the field at the moment is Craig Lockwood in car number 25. As they go through turns number 3 and 4, Stewart on the top side, Hickman on the bottom. And Hickman looks like he will take over the race lead as he comes through turns 1 and 2. Steve Stewart slides up track a little bit as they exit turn number 2. And Hickman will now get the job done, and he'll lead heat race number 6 out of turn number 4 under the floodlights here at the Borderline Speedway in Mount Gambier. We must thank the Mount Gambier Club President, Mr. Doug Thorne, for allowing us to come down and film at his beautiful racetrack in Mount Gambier, and hope that it won't be the last time that we bring to you action from the Borderline Speedway in Mount Gambier, South Australia's southeast. But it's still Darren Hickman in car number 9, the Bendigo Bullet leading very handsomely at the moment. Keith Higgs now getting the move on the 47 of Steve Stewart as they go through turn number 2 and now race through turn number 4 past the start finish line one more time to put another lap down in the books in the final heat of the evening. This one over 10 laps, and it's still Darren Hickman is holding a very commanding lead over the rest of the field here with about half the duration still remaining. Keith Higgs running down in car number 85. He's been the standout performer this evening. So far undefeated throughout his 2 heats. The battle now developing for third between Steve Stewart and also Brad Smith in that very distinctive orange and white machine. In fact, maybe a bit of contact out of turn number 4. A very untidy move there, but Brad Smith will get the job done. But it's still the number 9 of Darren Hickman holding a very nice lead over Keith Higgs. The Victorian leading the Western Australian, leading the Tasmanian. This event really has attracted a majority of Australia's leading super sedan races. It's a pity the field wasn't a little bit larger, but we want quality, not quantity, and quality is exactly what we've got here tonight. But have a look at Keith Higgs. He really is on the move here. He's closed up dramatically on the 9 of Darren Hickman. He's going for the race lead here in turn number 3. Side by side out of turn number 4. Hickman on the outside, Higgs on the inside. Oh, this is going to be a great finish. In fact, the checkered flag is out. We'll give it to Hickman. Second to Keith Higgs. Third will go to Brad Smith. They're back to Steve Stewart, Craig Lockwood and Terry White. The SA Super Sedan Championship final over 30 laps. This one should be an absolute beauty. Let's get dirty for 30 here in the South Australian Super Sedan Championship. Keith Higgs to lead them in on his outsiders. Brad Smith in car number 1. And Smith got a very nice start. He'll lead them down the back chute for the first time. Then we go back to Keith Higgs and the number 9 of Darren Hickman. Paddy Ward in car number 24 out of New South Wales, also back there in position number 4. Then we go back to car number 3 of Mick Nicola, who had a pretty disappointing run through the heats. But once the money's on the line, you can always can be assured that the number 3 of Mick Nicola is always up the front towards the end of the event. But it's still Brad Smith out in front in car number 1, followed by Keith Higgs. Then we go back to Darren Hickman, and those 3 now starting to run away with it a little bit here, as the 24 of Paddy Ward is holding up both Mick Nicola and also Trevor Ware back there for 4th, 5th and 6th. In fact, Nicola now looking a little bit impatient, and he may be trying to force the move down there in turn number 1 and 2, and in fact he was. And it looks like the number 3 of Mick Nicola will get the move to stick down there in turn number